I want to talk about some of the most important people in our lives, our kids. With many school districts wisely closing around the country because of coronavirus, thousands of children who rely on school lunches and breakfasts are about to be cut off. My next guests are confronting this challenge head on, and we are. Licchio is founder of Food Policy Action and Crafted Hospitality, and Alexa Arnold, the Deputy Director of Strategy and Partnerships for Food Corps. Tom, when schools close, what happens immediately to solve for this?
Well, if they close in the summer, there's summer feeding programs.
But those are planned.
Well, actually, the new recovery package that is being voted on today, if McConnell ever actually votes on this, puts them back into action. So you have a couple things. SNAP benefits increase. Summer feeding program for EBT goes into effect. And schools are still, especially in New York City, schools are still producing food for people to come and pick it up. So we've actually, I think, did a pretty good job so far of making sure that people have the money to buy food. There's $1 billion of nutrition in the new bill. So I think we got that taken care of. The next step is how do we make sure that the kids' parents have money? Because that's the problem. And your last guest hit the nail on the head. People need money right now. We need to get cash in people's hands. UBI is a great idea. So right now in this bill, 75% of your salary up to $4,000 get paid for unemployment. Make that 100%. We have to actually get cash in people's hands. That's what needs to happen.
Alexa, 114,000 kids in New York are homeless. We spend hours and hours talking about the importance of social distancing and everybody needs to go home. A lot of people don't have a place to go home. So what do we do for these children?
Yeah, you raise a really good point, Stephanie. And I think, at Food Corps, what we do every day is connect kids to healthy food in school. And what this crisis has really shined a light on is the inequities in our public health and education systems. For homeless kids, for the 22 million children who rely on school meals, that's already a national challenge. That matters. School meals matter, whether or not we're facing a global public health crisis. These kids matter. And right now, with schools closing, kids are actually going to go hungry, and parents are actually facing, a crisis here. Schools in New York City are still serving meals, grab-and-go meals, both breakfast and lunch, and that's happening across the country as well. Quietly behind the scenes, these school nutrition professionals, the people who are on the front lines with kids every single day, feeding children millions of meals, they've been organizing, they've been actively jumping into action with creativity, with brilliance, and they're rolling out new ways of feeding kids, of distributing food right now across the country in feeding sites.
Tom, monetary policy is one thing. Let's make borrowing money cheaper. Small businesses can get loans. But explain to our viewers how the service industry works. If a restaurant is closed for 3 months, okay, their operating costs are the same, but their revenue goes to zero. When those restaurants fill up in 3 months, you're not going to backdate meals.
No, you can't. And so this is why for the workers right now, I mean, at least 1 million people lost their job yesterday in the hospitality industry.
1 million people.
At least. I closed 4 restaurants in New York. I closed 2 restaurants in Las Vegas and 1 in Los Angeles, all yesterday. I know how many employees were affected because of that. What's going to happen now, they need money. They can get through because people shouldn't be going out and spending money right now in terms of restaurants and bars because restaurants and bars are closed. So you pay your rent or maybe don't pay your rent because you're not going to get thrown out. Okay? You need cash to cover your basic needs right now. But what's going to happen for small businesses? So right now,
they're not going to be able to pay their kitchen staff like you can.
Oh, you can't. I can't. Revenue's gone. Restaurants don't sit on a ton of that all of a sudden we can infuse cash into this. No, this is why unemployment needs to step up, and it should be 100%, not 75%, up to $4,000. So you can actually, right now we have a patient needs triage. And so what we're seeing though, let's move this conversation away for a second. For the last 40 years, we've heard that government is too big and we need to shrink it down to the size that it'll drown in a bathtub. Thank you, Grover Norquist. It's drowning in the bathtub right now. Now, we point fingers to everyone and blame. Okay? It's time to end that. It's time for the politics to end. It's time for leaders to step up. This is our World War II moment right now. And we'll come out of this. And when we come out of this, we have to decide what kind of society do we want to be? Who do we want to be? Because we'll get through this. But we're going to get through this together, Because there's no I, the person in this country, it's we, the people.
But just talk before we go to those restaurants and bars that a lot of us are angry at because they were open over the weekend. Speak to those proprietors because we understand they're trying to put food on their own tables.
They were open because, listen, I sat home and said, I can't go out anymore. I got to protect my family. And I said to myself, I can't ask my employees to go out anymore. This is dangerous. I'm putting them in danger. And so that's what you're doing. I know you're trying to help them because you want to keep the tips going. You want to keep, business, whatever business there is going. It's dangerous. Right now, we need to shut this thing down and get healthy first. We got to stop this virus because if we don't stop this virus, it's going to get worse. Triage first, and then let's build this country. That's what we need to do right now. We need to come together.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.